What's going on, everybody? I'm Primalliquid and welcome to my guide for Disgaea 7. In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete the Carnage 15 stage, the hardest stage currently in the game, as there is no ball currently. That is more than likely going to be DLC in the Japanese version. However, currently this is the hardest fight, and upon beating it, you do unlock a 4th Evility slot for the character that gets the final kill. Now, this can be a very difficult stage. However, we can do a few things to make our life much easier. So, let's talk about it, shall we? First of all, let's talk about equipment and stats. So, when it comes to doing this stage, there are two things you are definitely going to want to do first and foremost. Firstly, cap out your character stats using the juice bar. This caps at 10 million stats in each one, so you can get 10 million attack, 10 million defense, and so on and so forth via the juice bar. Likewise, HP and SP caps out at 1 billion each. But for the sake of this video, that isn't really that important. We're not going to take any damage as we are going to kill the boss in one turn. Secondly, when it comes to equipment, it doesn't really matter too much. I would strongly suggest using an axe because the final axe skill is incredibly good. And then you can also boost that all the way up to level 9 as well. So try and make sure you have a level 100 axe, or an axe that gives you access to weapon skill 4, okay? Then you just want to focus on movement more than anything. It's like, as you can see, I'm only gaining about 10 million attack stats from my equipment, so it's not too much. And also, the first time I did this stage, I didn't even have this Arcadia equipped, so it can be a lot less than the 41 million that you see right now. Secondly, I also strongly suggest maxing out all classes on the character that you are going to kill this with. The reason being, once you reincarnate after you have mastered all these classes and level to 9,999 again, you will also gain an extra 10 million to go on top of the juice bar stats, allowing you to get 20 million stats very easily. And then you can also level up in the squadron, which is basically the Elite 4 squadron, for an extra set of stats, and of course level using stat boosting abilities as well. Now, let's talk about actual abilities that we are going to use. So, the only character that I'm going to really care about the abilities right now is going to be my Killia. Sorry, not Killia, I'm thinking of the wrong Disgaea. My Fuji. The reason being, okay, is Fuji is by far the easiest character to do this stage with first. He requires the least amount of setup, and it's just, in general, easier. So, what we're going to do is, let's take a look at the abilities we have right now. So these two are Fuji's main abilities. You cannot change these two at all. This one right here is from, I believe, the Fighter, which just increases our damage by 10% for every square that we move. So a nice little damage increase. I am not going to be equipping a 4th main ability, simply due to the fact I want to show you guys how to do this if it is your first time. Now, for the actual abilities that we are going to be using, the first one increases our critical damage by 50%. Then the second one increases our critical damage by 75%, but it does lower our accuracy by 30%. However, we have a way around that, do not worry. Next up, we have the attack power 50% when you are attacking on the first turn. And then we have attack power 50%, but again, we lose 30% accuracy. Don't worry, that's not a big deal. We can make up for the accuracy and no problem. After that, we have an extra 50% attack power, but our defense goes down by 100%. And then we actually have a critical damage plus 100% when remaining HP is 25% or less. Now, this one isn't really needed. It's just a nice to have. And you can trigger this very easily by using the movement skill, which will actually lower your HP down to 1, but increase your movement by 5. All you have to do then is unequip it and put the Evility back on for the actual critical damage, and your HP will still be at 1. And then we also have the next ability, which is attack count +1, but you die at the end of the turn. This means you get to attack twice, or if you're using a sword skill with Fuji or one of his innate skills, it will actually be 3 times. But for now, we're using axe skills because this is just in general the easiest way to do this. And then last but not least, we have this, which is basically unstable force. It increases your stats by 50%, but you do lose 20% of your stats every turn. That is perfectly fine. We are going to one-shot this boss anyway. Now, when it comes to other characters, it doesn't matter what equipment or abilities they have, as long as they have a high amount of movement speed. Now, we are going to need, at the very least, a couple of units to throw. I also recommend using this guy. I do not know his name in English, but he is one of the story characters that you will unlock just by going through the story. Likewise, we have another story character right here, and this is one of the more important ones. He will give us 100% critical rate and 100% accuracy. Highly, highly needed. Then we are going to use a psychic. This is going to allow us to buff our attack quite high and is going to be what allows us to one-shot the boss. We have an angel unit. This is just going to be to basically give Fuji an extra attack. So with our Evility, we'll be attacking 3 times instead of only once or twice. And then we'll also be using the Maiko. We are going to be using the Maiko because one of her innate skills allows our units to attack and move a second time. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and just jump into Carnage 15. So, as I said, this is currently the hardest stage in the game. Upon doing this, you will unlock a new Evility, and you will also unlock a 4th Evility slot. Whoops, I still have auto battle turned on. You will unlock a 4th Evility slot. Now, the Evility that you unlock for doing this stage is called Mark of Power. What that does is, whenever you kill a boss in the item world, it will add a portion of the item god's stats to the character that got the killing blow. So it is highly, highly recommended to get that if you want to get 99 million in all stats without actually having any equipment equipped. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to move Fuji right behind the boss, and as you can see, his stats are much higher than mine. If I went to attack him right now using the final axe skill, I would barely dent him. So what we're going to do now is we are going to move some extra characters just so we can get some actual buffs. Now this character right here, his innate abilities will buff Fuji by simply being next to him. And then we are going to use this guy right here. Now he is a monster unit, so you don't want to put him in the tower straight away. And in fact, I'm going to take him off and I'm going to put Parika up first because I will need the extra throw distance. As you can see, I can only throw so far with the first character. Now we're going to bring him back up and put him in the tower. And then last but not least, we're going to put the monster in the tower as well. This way, all these buffs are hitting Fuji right here. So now if we were to use the attack skill again, as you can see, our damage is now much higher and we now have 100% accuracy. Now, we could technically kill the boss with that, but again, my stats are a little higher than some people will have when they first get to this point, so we're going to boost this even more. We're going to use the Psychic, and I'm just going to move the Psychic up here. Now, this is Braveheart, which increases the attack of any character it hits. We're just going to hit Fuji with that. So right now, as you can see, Fuji is on 48.8 million. We're going to use that, and now he's on 75 million attack. Then we're going to bring the Angel up and put that next to Fuji. And we are now going to use the innate Angel skill right here, which allows the unit to attack again. So we're going to use that. And now we're going to go ahead and use the axe skill on the boss. As you can see, I very nearly one-shot it, and we are going to be getting 3 hits off, so the boss is definitely going to die. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, the boss died right there. This boss does have a unique Evility that when it is killed, it will automatically respawn in the giant form. Now, if we were to end a turn right now, okay, all of our characters on the field would die. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to bring the Maiko unit out, and I'm going to put it right next to Fuji. We're going to use the Maiko's innate skill, which is the first one, which will allow Fuji to act again. So there we go. We can now move Fuji and attack again. So we're going to move Fuji all the way up to the top here, right next to the boss. Now, right now, as you can see, I'm at 80 million stats. I could not kill the boss, but we can do something else. So the reason that I had an extra couple of units here is so I can throw them. The reason we want to do this is to give Fuji more stats and 100% accuracy and critical damage. So now, as you can see, our damage is not enough to one-shot the boss. However, we are going to attack 3 times. So we're going to just execute right there. And as you can see, stage cleared. We have just beaten the hardest fight currently in the game. Now, this strategy will probably also work for Ball once that is released. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Now, as I mentioned, once you beat that boss, the character that got the killing blow will unlock a 4th Evility slot, and will also unlock the Evility Mark of Power, which when you kill an item god will add some of the stats from the item god on to Fuji. Now, I have already tested this. I killed an item god with 99 million stats, and I got about 10 to 12,000 of those stats. So it's not a huge amount. You are going to have to kill thousands of item gods if you want to actually completely cap your stats with no equipment. But hey, the potential is there. But though, everybody, that is going to be it for this video. I hope it's helped and I hope you have enjoyed it. If it has, then please be sure to smash that like button and of course drop a comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be making tons and tons of guides still for the Japanese version of Disgaea 7, and of course I will also be making them for the English version when that releases later this year. As always though, everybody, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.